Because sometimes my teacher talks too fast and I can't really understand what she's saying. I have a hard time kind of discerning what she's saying, and I can't learn without an interpreter. That's why I need an interpreter. And also because I prefer to understand what my teacher is saying. And they all help me because they want me to use my brain. They want me to think and help me to learn on my own. So they kind of guide me to that. Sometimes I communicate with hearing kids a little bit. I understand them. Sometimes I don't really understand them, so I have to ask them. I have to ask my other friends who's hard of hearing. And she comes over and I'll say, "What did they say? Can you tell me what they said?" And sometimes she kind of interprets for me and tells me what the hearing people say, just like Miss Poteet. My role in the classroom is as interpreter, and that means that I sign everything the teacher says and voice everything the student signs. I take what the teacher says, sometimes rephrase it if there's not complete understanding for the student, take time to ask questions of the student, and make sure that I understand exactly what they're wanting to say.
First thing that you need to do when you have a number line. It was kind of scary having the interpreter in there at first because she interprets every single thing I say and she interprets everything that the other students are saying. So a lot of times I would just have students yelling out answers, and you really can't just have like lots of students yelling at one time. You have to make sure that just one person's talking at a time, because the interpreters can't interpret, 5 different students talking at one time. First was a little hard, but I got used to it really quickly.
I am strictly there for communication purposes. I don't step in and teach. I support her in helping expand on maybe what the students' needs are.
I write and monitor the IEP goals for the students. Mrs. Legg is in charge of planning the lessons for the general ed curriculum. I'm the one who keeps data on everything that they're doing in the classroom. We talk about the students. I am responsible for taking what she is doing and modifying or accommodating so that my students are able to achieve at the same level as everyone else in the classroom.
She's in there to help the deaf students, but then she would also sometimes help my other kids as well.
I look at her lesson plans and see what skills she's targeting in reading and writing for the week, and I incorporate them into my lesson plans.
I have to make sure that I stop my lesson at a certain time so that she can pull out her students. Because there are times when I'm like, I want to extend this lesson a little bit longer, but I know I can't because her students are leaving and I don't want them to miss it. So I have to make sure that I kind of slow down when I'm teaching. I try to use a lot more visuals.
Deaf students cannot take notes and listen at the same time or watch an interpreter at the same time. So be aware that if you're asking them to write, then hold off on what you want to say.
Sometimes a lecture style can be overwhelming. All of that auditory information coming in can be overwhelming for the students, so they might not always get every piece. So I'll go to the board and we'll look at the visuals and I'll break it down for them some more so that I can make sure that they're getting the concepts too.
There's just so much curriculum that we have to cram into the 1 year, so we have some intervention time. So during that time I can pull some groups of students that I feel really need some extra support.
Again, discuss what weight is, what are some tools you can use to measure.
Our role is not to come in and take notes on mistakes or things that are said in the classroom and report back to anyone. We are strictly there as a member of the educational team. We want the same things for the students that the teacher does. If there's something that needs to be addressed in the classroom, I let the teacher address it.
Really, I feel like the interpreter, Ms. Legg, and I, we're all a team and we all communicate with each other.
Even though I was super nervous at the beginning, I actually would prefer having her in my classroom. I've picked up a little bit of sign myself, a little bit, so it's actually been a great experience.